The Zephyrian throne room stretched endlessly, its crystalline walls pulsing with bioluminescent veins that cast eerie shadows across the assembled court. Emperor Vexthul lounged on his biomechanical throne, his four arms gesturing dismissively as he addressed the human delegation below. "So," the Emperor's voice resonated through his translator implant, dripping with condescension, "the primitive Terrans wish to purchase one of our war dragons for their little rebellion against the hegemony?" James Mitchell stood at attention, his weathered mechanics coveralls looking painfully out of place among the ornate alien courtiers. Beside him, Naz Rahman maintained her diplomatic composure despite the obvious mockery in the Emperor's tone. As the human resistance's chief negotiator, she had endured worse insults. "Your Majesty," Naz replied evenly, "we offer fair compensation for any dragon you're willing to part with. Our cause is just?" Vexthul's chittering laugh echoed off the walls. "Humans think their little uprising matters to the greater galaxy. Very well, I shall grant your request." His primary eyes gleamed with malicious amusement. "But not quite what you expected." The Emperor gestured to his attendants, who dragged forth a massive creature on a hover platform. The dragon was magnificent even in its apparent disability. Scales that shifted between deep purple and silver covered its serpentine body, but its wings hung limp and useless at its sides. Neural interface ports along its spine sparked erratically, and one of its rear legs twisted at an unnatural angle. "Behold Zerion," Vexthul announced theatrically. "Once the pride of my war fleet. Neural damage from a plasma storm. Useless. Wings. Broken limb." He leaned forward, savoring the moment. "Consider it a gift to your hopeless cause. Perhaps you can teach it to roll over and play dead, much like your species will soon do." The court erupted in cruel laughter. James stepped forward, ignoring the jeers, and approached the dragon. Zerion's massive head turned toward him, and James found himself looking into eyes that held not the feral intelligence of a beast, but something far deeper. Pain, frustration, and a pride that refused to be broken. "We accept," James said quietly, his calloused hand gently touching the dragon's snout. 3 months later, Emperor Vexthul received reports that made his blood run cold. The human rebellion had struck 17 hegemony supply convoys in a single week. But it wasn't the tactical victories that concerned him. It was how they were achieved. "Impossible," he hissed, reviewing the battle recordings in his private chambers. "Show me again." The hologram replayed the attack on Kepler Station. AO. Single dragon, unmistakably Zerion, dove from the void of space, but something was wrong. The creature moved with impossible precision, its flight path perfectly calculated. Where its wings should have propelled it, sleek mechanical constructs had taken their place, humming with human engineering. Neural interface cables ran along its spine, but these weren't the crude Zephyrian biolinks. They were something far more sophisticated. And riding on the dragon's back, his hands dancing across a custom control interface that seemed to merge seamlessly with the creature's nervous system, was James Mitchell. The Emperor watched in horrified fascination as Zerion performed maneuvers no living dragon should survive. It twisted through defensive fire with computerized precision, its mechanical wings adjusting thrust vectors in microsecond intervals. When plasma cannons targeted its flight path, the dragon seemed to anticipate the shots before they were fired. "How?" Vexthul demanded of his military advisors. "The human appears to have enhanced the creature," General Kriktar reported, reluctantly. "Our intelligence suggests he spent months studying its neural patterns, learning to interface directly with its consciousness. He didn't just repair the dragon, Majesty, he evolved it." Meanwhile, in the depths of human-controlled space, James guided Zerion through another maintenance cycle in their makeshift hangar. The dragon's new wings folded against its body as neural diagnostic displays showed perfect synchronization between organic and artificial systems. "How do you feel about the micro-adjustments to your spatial processing?" James asked, not through his voice but through the neural link they shared. "Better than I have felt in cycles." Zerion's thoughts flowed back, carrying gratitude and something approaching affection. The modifications allow me to perceive space in ways my species never imagined. I am more than I was born to be. James smiled, running his hand along the dragon's neck where organic scales met synthetic interface ports. That's the thing about humans, buddy. We don't just fix broken things, we make them better. Naz approached from across the hangar, carrying intelligence reports. The Emperor's recalled 3 battle groups to protect his core systems, she announced. Our raids are working. Good, James replied, never taking his eyes off his diagnostics. Because we're just getting started. 6 months after the Emperor's cruel joke, the Zephyrian Empire faced its first real defeat in centuries. Zerion led a wing of modified dragons, other defective creatures that James had painstakingly restored and enhanced, in an assault on the Empire's primary shipyard. The battle was swift and decisive, but it was the message that followed that truly shattered Vexthal's composure. Transmitted on all frequencies throughout Zephyrian space, it showed James standing beside Zerion, the dragon's eyes now gleaming, with augmented intelligence. Your Majesty, James's voice carried across the void. Thank you for the gift. Turns out humans have a talent for fixing broken things and making them magnificent. He paused, his scarred hand resting on Zerion's head. We've got 17 more defective dragons now, each one eager to show their former masters what they've become. The transmission cut to scenes of the modified dragons in flight, their movements impossibly graceful, their attacks precisely coordinated. They weren't just war machines anymore. They were something entirely new, a fusion of organic intuition and human innovation that exceeded the sum of its parts. Emperor Vexthul slumped in his throne as reports flooded in of entire fleets abandoning their posts rather than face the enhanced dragons. His gift, meant to humiliate, had become the instrument of his empire's downfall. In the darkness of his defeated throne room, the Emperor finally understood the folly of underestimating humanity. They didn't just fight, they transformed. They didn't just survive, they evolved. And they never, ever forgot an insult. The revolution spread like wildfire through the galaxy, carried on the wings of dragons that had been reborn through human ingenuity and compassion. And at its heart flew Zerion and James, proof that even the cruelest joke can become the foundation of something beautiful. The universe would never be the same.